So this is one of those 6 markers. What I've done is pre-write the answer. Let me just take you through my thinking, how to approach this. So you can see that we've got this experiment, this reaction here, and the teacher says that 1.2 grams should form 1.5 grams of copper oxide. But this experiment, actually, we are producing less than 1.5 by the end of the experiment. So the question says, explain the observations and give reasons why the masses after heating are less than expected. Okay, so let's just go through that. First of all, let's do one thing first is do the observations, then we look at the masses and we look at the pieces and the powder kind of separately to make it work in terms of why they change and why it's less than expected. So first of all, observations. The copper metal is a red-brown colour, that's why it's red-brown at the beginning. And at the end of the experiment, it's gone black after heating because that is copper oxide, and copper oxide is a black substance. So I've got 2 points there for the observations. Next bit is looking at what changes take place to the copper pieces and copper powder. So both of them are showing that the mass increases. Why does the mass increase? Because oxygen is being added when making copper oxide, and therefore oxygen has a mass. So we're adding mass to the copper. Then we've got to look at why they are different. So powder versus pieces. So powder, the mass increases more. Why? Because it's been heated for a longer time. So the powder's been heated for 10 minutes. This has been heated for 5 minutes. And that means that more copper can react. Also, the powder, because it's smaller pieces, has got a larger surface area. Therefore, there is more room for reactions to take place, and therefore more copper will react. Why is the mass less than expected? Well, copper as a metal is not very reactive, so it's going to take a while to react, so the reaction is going to be slower. We also need to give it time. They've only given it 5 or 10 minutes to react. It needs maybe more time than that to get to react fully. Some of the copper or the copper oxide could have been lost during the experiment. So we could lose some of the reactants or some of the products could escape, and that means the masses would be different. Not all the copper will react. Only the surface will react, and therefore that prevents the layers below reacting, so that again will reduce the mass. Maybe it's not been heated for long enough, and maybe the Bunsen burner was not hot enough to make it react in the time that we had. Each of these is a little bullet point. I've counted them up and there are 18 bullet points in total. So in terms of getting your mark, all you need to do is work out how many points you got, how many bullet points you got, and then that equates to your mark. So for example, if you got over 16 points, you got yourself 6 marks in that particular question.